Alright, I hope so, sir. Do you have basic idea? So let's start our today practice. If you have any question, you may ask. Otherwise, we can start our today practice session. Okay, anyone who would like to start practice? Like either would you like to answer or would you like to ask question for me? Would you like to be a candidate or examiner? We can start we can start a topic for practice. All right, sir. Sir, you said there are four parts. How you are saying that there are four parts, like part one, part two, and part three? There are total three parts. Are you considering the introductory part as well? So that is why you are saying there are four parts. All right, so you're considering introductory part, so that is the why you are saying that there are four different parts. All right. Yes, some people say it is a zero part and consider it as one part. Actually, in this part, examiner just ask the basic question, your name, see your identification card, or may ask about your introduction. So some people consider it as part zero. It is just the examiner want to make you comfortable with himself, so that is the reason, or want to say you to introduce yourself, and in that way he or she can also ask about your name as well. So if we talk about the entire different parts, actually exam starts with the part one. So we can also say there are four parts, but usually people say three parts. Those who say there are four parts, they are actually saying that there is a part zero, like basic things. So let's move to the next topic. What is our next topic? We have done with the cake topic. Let's see what is the next difficult topic. I think memory is very easy topic. Okay, feeling bored is the topic which we covered last time. And okay, let's do this topic. So sir, if you would like, sir Farid, you would like to answer first. All right, I can ask the question, and when I will finish your question, everyone is free to give the feedback, anything which you are noticing in sir speaking practice. And after that, sir, you can take my practice test, and then we will move to part two and part three. So let's talk about music. Do you do a lot of people like music? Sir, if you are saying something, your mic is muted. Can you unmute yourself? Sir Farid, all right. So I'm going to ask the question again. Do a lot of people like music?
Hello, Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Am I audible?
Yes, now you are audible.
Actually, I didn't get your question that what you were saying.
Okay, I am just asking the part one person, so I can answer the question again if you didn't gain it. All right. Let's talk about music. Do a lot of people like music?
Yes, for sure.
Alright. So we just can't say yes for sure. You need to extend a little bit your answers for part one. You can tell about this. Many people in my country would like to listen to music, and why they would like to listen music. You can tell about the reason. So you can extend your answer in different ways. So let me ask it again. Do a lot of people like music?
Actually, your voice is not that much clear, so I could not get what you're saying.
My voice is not clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me check.
What, what's going on?
All right, let's resume our practice. Okay, I'm going to. Meanwhile, sir will join us. We can recap the some words which we have learned in previous words. Okay, I'm going to share one topic where we learn about some vocab related to environment topic, and I'm going to share my screen. Just give me 1 minute. All right. I have Assalamualaikum, Ma'am Nimsa. Can you share the screen because I have some issues with my system? Assalamualaikum, Ma'am Nimsa. Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ma'am, can you share the screen? Is it possible for you? Mm, I'm facing some issues like my system is not working well. Let me check if I'm able to do it, but I'm unable to share it. Okay, ma'am. Do you can you open the book speaking book which is shared in Slack channel? And can you conduct my practice test from that book or anywhere you would like to? Okay, ma'am. My screen is visible. Hello.
Yes, not yet.
Sorry, ma'am. I am unable to understand you. Can you say it again? Hello, ma'am. Can you say it again?
No, ma'am, you did not share.
Um, Ma'am, I am unable to hear you properly. Can you say it again? What are you saying?
Ma'am, you did not visible.
Are you saying that there is a noise at your end? I'm sharing it. I think some issues. Ma'am, can you conduct my if you want to practice for part one, I can ask the question from this book without sharing. Or if you want to ask question from me, you can also ask from anywhere for part one. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So would you like to do practice with me? Would you like me to ask from person, or would you like to be an examiner for me? Ma'am, can you tell me that would you like to do practice with me or
Yes, ma'am.
hello? Okay, then we can go through the topic instead of doing the practice if woman is willing. Just give me a few minutes. I will share the screen and then we will start exploring the one topic specific vocabulary. So we can explore the vocabulary related to environment. Sometimes people find it difficult to find words. So this article I found helpful and I hope so it will be helpful for you. So this topic can also come in this exam. So let's see. So there are different categories. Let's start with the part one. So first person is, do you think pollution is a big problem nowadays? I think it is a massive issue. So we can see how they rephrase a big problem into massive issue. It really worries me how much damage we are doing to the natural environment. So we have noticed another word which they mentioned, natural environment, especially how we pollute the oceans with plastic waste and release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. So we have learned new words they have used. They have told that the word natural environment they use, and they use pollute as a verb instead of pollution, and how this is occurring with the plastic waste and release greenhouse gases, and where it is releasing in the atmosphere. So we can use different words like pollution, atmosphere, natural environment, and how the environment is polluted. It means it is polluted when greenhouse gases are emitted from different vehicles and then they are released in the atmosphere. So, what do you do to prevent the environment from pollution? I recycle as much rubbish as I can. So, if you want to save the environment for pollution, so what we need to do, we need to reuse the plastic which we have already thrown. What will happen if we do recycle? And because we are throwing many plastic waste in the ocean, and when many marine the different living organisms which are in the ocean, when they eat those plastics, they um, are they there is a negative consequence on their health. Like, so even marine life suffers when they eat plastic which is thrown in the ocean. So I recycle as much rubbish as I can, and I walk when possible rather than driving or taking public transport in order to reduce my carbon footprint. So what we say, when there are multiple private vehicles, what is happening? It means there will be a lot of exhaust fumes which are generated by those vehicles, and when there will be a lot of fumes, it means um, there our environment will be polluted. So that is some reason we can prefer public transport. So because in one public transport, many one bus can carry multiple people, so there is less pollution compared to private cars. So why they are doing this, and what is some reason? Okay, in order to reduce my carbon foot, basically what is the word carbon foot means, like greenhouse gas emissions which are generated in different ways, like from the vehicles or many different ways. So these are two different words which we can learn from this answer. Are you worried about climate change? Most definitely. In my country, the weather is changing because of global warming, and global warming is another word which we can talk about. And we get more bad storms than before. But governments and individuals need to do more to combat climate change. So what they are saying, what two words they have used in this context? One is global warming, And another was is covered climate change. Climate change is a word which is in the person, and covered is used as a verb. It means like we want to fight like for the climate change, like so we need to take some certain actions to prevent these things which are damaging our environment. And so let's move to the next question. Do you use renewable energy? Not at the moment. I want to change my house to the solar power, but the panels are too expensive for me to buy. So unfortunately, I still use fossil fuels. So there are different ways to produce electricity. So if we talk about the traditional way of producing electricity, that is fossil fuels. Like they use different sources such as coal products, natural gas, gas, or any crude oil. So to produce electricity to fulfill the citizen demand. But nowadays, people are moving to the concept of solar power. So, what is solar power? It is basically we usually what we do, we use as a source of electricity. So, what we do, we convert energy which is coming from the sunlight into electricity. So, many people are using solar panels nowadays, and they need to place on their roof. So, this is renewable energy. Okay, so these are the different words we can also use in this context and in the environment topic when it occurs. So it depends if any person is asking about related to renewable energy. So this we can use this context because this is basically renewable energy means the any energy which you are generating from the natural source like sun. And the next question is, do you take an interest in the nature? I love all wildlife. My garden is the perfect habitat for Irish hawks. They are nocturnal, but if I go out after the dark with a torch, I sometimes see one. So the underlined ones are the way which we can use in different contexts, and even not only in this person. So this is the generic word, and we can use in different ways. And this is wildlife, so it is very easy. So we can see the example of solar power here in the picture. So this is also used in different forms to produce electricity. So there are not much of so let's move to the next question. So these are the questions related to initial part. Let's move to the next part, which is lengthy, and we can see how we can use different contexts. Let's read the answer. Describe an environmental problem you have heard about. You should say what it is, how long it has existed, and how it affects people's lives, and explain how you think the problem will develop in the future. There are a number of serious environmental problems. They have highlighted all the worst being covered by the media at the moment, but the one I had like to talk about is the deforestation of vast areas of rainforest to grow palm oil. So we cut trees for different reason. We have different reasons behind it. Sometimes we are cutting trees to get wood for the furniture. Sometimes we want to grow different plants, so that is the reason we are cutting trees. So it can be anything, but it depends on how you are taking this concept, like how you are going to talk about it. So you can talk about in any context which you would like, and you think you have a lot of ideas to describe that particular answers. But here they are talking about so they're talking about deforestation of forest areas for rainforest. So we do for different purpose. As I mentioned, we do for agriculture. We also do for we cut those trees for the purpose of taking wood. I'm not sure when it started to become a concern to environmentalists, but I know that they are increasingly worried about it. So this, so they use the synonym of this, like you can see here, this land clearance is on a huge scale, and the forest is often just burned down. This sends large amounts of, okay, and when you are clearing land, like you are cutting all the forest, something which is difficult to cut, and you are burning them instead of cutting them. So this also leads to greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere, which contribute to global warming and climate change. This affects everyone on the planet. So definitely heat is produced, which is also contributing to global warming. Just as important is the effect on the native wildlife. Okay, there are multiple effects when you do deforestation. One of I mentioned before. Another is that you are destroying habitats of wildlife, like those people who are living there. When you burn them, it means their habitat are destroyed. So they have mentioned name of one of them, but there are many of them. Like they've written many others animal. Conservationists estimate that unless the situation changes, the orangutan and Sumatran tiger could become extinct. So if they certain animals who are just living in forest, and if you are destroying their habitat, definitely they will become extinct. So they are making a prediction. So we can use this one as well. In fact, a third of all mammal species so this in Indonesia are thought to be critically endangered because this type of unsustainable development, because we're just thinking about their own benefit instead of caring about them. The oil palm plantation that replace a rich vegetation of the rain transport very low levels of biodiversity. So what happened, like if you are cutting them, definitely there will be not a range of different animals there. Definitely, if you're destroying someone's home, then no one will live there. Any kind of animal, like different types of animal, will not be there. So what will happen? There will not have much biodiversity and create a total of different ecosystem. I don't fully understand why the loss of biodiversity is such a problem, but I did read somewhere that it means that our food crops are more vulnerable to pests and diseases. This could lead to a serious food shortages in the future. I think that the palm oil industry and its associated problems are going to be difficult to change. Perhaps it consumers who can have the biggest impact by refusing to buy products containing palm oil, which is in around 40 to 50% of common household products in many developed countries. In the UK, there is already one major food retailer that has promised to ban palm oil. So if there are certain extension going on due to this deforestation, so some government do some take some action, like they are banning this way of generating oil, like palm oil, like they are banning the plantation. This I really encourage, and I hope other companies will do the same. So let's see the part three question. I say that global warming. What is the question? What do you consider to be the most serious environmental issues in the world today? I have said that global warming and climate change have to come to the top of the list because these threaten in the very future of life on our planet. The, there are many contributing factors such as burning of fossil fuels, deforestation for agriculture, and due to illegal lodging and large-scale livestock farming. So as we have seen, like fossil when you burn fossil fuels for generating electricity, it generates heat, and which is also causing issue for global warming. Another is deforestation for agriculture, and third one they have talk about the issue which is allergen. Okay, they have talk about these three issues, but you can talk about anyone. this is not necessary, but we have seen that deforestation is happen when you need land for planting different things, whether it is a palm oil or anyone. And another thing is that lodging, like this is when to cut the trees for the purpose of another serious concern is for the marine life in the oceans, which is under serious threat of pollution, especially waste plastic. When we throw the plastic in the water, it means we still are injured on the south sea beaches every day, because many people are many life is as a source of food. Many species of wildlife are also being pushed to avoid extinction by poaching, like we're killing them, and there are different purpose behind them. These are multiple problems. We can talk about 2 or 3. It is not necessary. You can talk about everything, but we can get idea. Okay, people are also doing hunting with animals, so poaching means like hunting, which is also resulting in extinction. Such as the tiger are dying out in the wild because of the actions of humans being. So there are many environmental problems that we need to solve, but these are ones I believe to be the most serious. So do you think it is the responsibility of governments alone to protect the environment, to protect the environment? Not at all. It is the responsibility of every individual to do their bit to protect the environment. Of course, governments can do a lot to address environmental issues through their policies and laws. They are. I certainly think that governments should put more pressure on industry to use clean energy or to cut down on the emission of greenhouse gases that pollute the atmosphere and add to global warming. So there are different ways they are talking about that. It is they are taking view in the respect of both, like they are saying that governments as well as individuals both have the should take part in this process and play their role. So, like being an individual, you can use clean energy sources like solar panels, which can help to reduce emission, because if you are using the electricity which is generated by burning fossil fuels such as coal or any other things, which also lead to global warming. In my country, the government encourages people to live an environmentally friendly lifestyle by providing the recycling services. So, if we are throwing waste in the ocean, which is killing or injuring them, so we can threaten their life. We can recycle them instead of throwing in the water. And facilities and subsidizing renewable energy. So, if we uh, provide with the low cost like solar panels, then definitely people will prefer to buy. If it becomes expensive, then the traditional way which we are adopting, definitely people will not prefer to consider it. So it should have advantage either based on cost or any other thing compared to the traditional ways in which we are using. By giving grants, people wanting to run their homes on solar power, if more people took advantage of this, it will certainly help the environment. What measures can take individuals to protect the environment? There are many ways that each of us can help to care for the natural environment. First, we can recycle as much of our rubbish as possible, or even better, cut down the use of disposable products. Second, we can become more energy efficient by insulating our homes, turning off the lights when they don't need to be on, and making short journeys by bicycle or on foot rather than going to vehicle. As I mentioned, the exhaust fumes are also hurting or polluting the environment. Cutting down on car journeys also means to deleting exhaust fumes entering the atmosphere. Finally, we can make sure that we know about the major conservation issues our world is currently facing. If we are well informed, then we can take action to bring about change. These are all measures we can take as individuals to help safeguard the environment. So it is better to practice them instead of just learning. So let's see what they have written here. The national world as a whole, for this word, they have written the national world as a whole or in particular geographical areas strictly as affected by human activity. It's a simple way to help protect our environment. Later is any garbage issue. So, relating to the national environment and concerning the impact of human being on its condition. Let's see the example. Survey revealed a number of environmental issues concerning the development of the land for housing, most notably that it was the habitat of a rare breed of frog. So they're talking about different issues like they are using this one in this sentence. A person about this one, a person who chooses a lifestyle that is designed to minimize the impact on the natural environment and who campaigns for environmental issues. So this is referring to the person. This is the overall the natural world, and this issues when we have an impact on us or any living things which are living in our environment. Not harmful. Okay, when we talk about this word, it means that is not creating any damage to the environment. So something we use eco-friendly approaches we need to adopt. There are many environmentally friendly cleaning products on the market that don't contain chemicals that damage the environment. So there are different ways we can practice them. The natural world is opposed to, for example, a working environment. When the injured seal had been nursed back to the health in the rescue center, it was returned to its natural environment. So a substance or even which has the potential to threaten the surrounding. So we can, I don't think so. We have read this one and the answer we can see where it has been used. Okay, above the answers, this was not used, but they have mentioned here. You can recheck if we have found any words related to it. All right. I don't think so. They have used in previous answers. So the illegal storage of toxic waste presents a significant environmental hazards. I think that is danger. Like if you are storage different toxic waste, which is also creating a problem. A catastrophic event affecting the environment due to human activity. When the oil tanker ran ground, it caused an environmental disaster from which it took the local wildlife many years to recover. These are the just example above. They have mentioned what it actually definition is. The protection of plants, animals, and nature resources usually by planned human action. It was a dream to get a job in conservation. Or there is a specific field in which someone want to do any sort of job related in this process of production. A person who takes action to protect the environment from damage caused by humans. So the person who is doing this thing is basically this. Are working hard. Conservationists are working hard to protect the breeding grounds of sea turtles. Conservation program. So an organized plan to protect a specific natural area or aspect of the natural environment. Next year, I'm planning to volunteer a conservation program in Spain, which researches dolphins. So these are the words joined together, so we can also use in their context, like we can conserve any wildlife, any particular bird. It depends on our purposes. Nature conservation work that protects nature resources, including wildlife, rivers, forests, and others. So These can be different kinds of, like we can conserve energy for future use or for any other purpose. We can conserve forest or anything. Rivers, like rivers provide us water, and we can also conserve wildlife. So those such which are used to gather carbon. So this is very easy. I hope so you any know that any word which are living in wild. Every evening, a wide variety of wildlife came to the water hole to drink. Local wildlife, the wildlife to be found in a particular area, so we call local one. The children did a school project on the local wildlife. Native wildlife that naturally lives in a particular area and is not there as a result of human. It's not there as a result of human intervention. When cats were introduced to the island, they hunted the native wildlife and caused a rapid decline in many species. So they have mentioned they were there in past, but nowadays they are not because any human intervention caused a major were the major further decline. So when cats were introduced to the island, they hunted the native wildlife. So like cats might be hunted there, they use as a source of food. So what happened? They have been declined. So native wildlife, which is there, but which were used to be there, but now it is not there due to some other reason. Creature, any living thing, they can move independently. So we can say a living thing which can move. There are creatures. There are some fascinating creatures living in the deep ocean that we know hardly anything about. Fauna, the animals of a particular region or habitat. So fauna, there are two words, flora and fauna. This refer to the animals and this refer to the plants of particular region. Much of the native flora of Australia is not found naturally anywhere else in the world. Vegetation, the collective name for all the plants growing in a particular place or area. So vegetation means number of plants which are growing in particular area. So we call it vegetation. Tropical regions are known for their dense vegetation. Like there are a lot of plants species, a group of animals or plants that have similar characteristics and can live produce together. Lions are a species of wild cat, so they have used allocations means two words used together correctly. Endangered species, we can say threatened species. Endangered are the ones which are going to extinct sooner. Threatened species, like there is a chance, like endangered means they are living very few and will become extinct soon. But they have been threatened, but they will also be in danger in the near future. Rare species in common as scarce species, like there are these species can't be found anywhere. Like you can find on just certain places. Protected species, like if anyone is on the verge of extinction, so you would like to protect them. So this is like, and you can say these are forbidden to give any harm to them, like you can't harm them. So because they have been protected, and there are several reasons behind this. Extinct species, a species of which there are no more life. Like any species like become extinct, it means you will not be able to find it again if because no relative animal of that species is living. Ecosystem, all the living things in environment and the complex relationships between each of them and that environment. Okay, what is the ecosystem? All the living thing in the environment and the complex relationship basically is the ecosystem. Coral reefs have a delicately balanced ecosystem which can be seriously damaged by our fishing. So how we can use this word in another words, balanced ecosystem, fragile ecosystem, so that does not adapt easily to change and it is easily destroyed by human or physical impact. Native weather considered as a force that controls our living thing. Mother Nature, it is far better to try and work with Mother Nature than again it diverse, varied and very different from one another. So it is very easy. Diversity, the variety of animals and plant life found in the particular place, as I mentioned before. to preserve biodiversity in order to protect ecosystem. So as we have seen here, the ecosystem is all the living things in the environment and their relationship. So one animal is depending on the for the food or for any purpose. So if you want to have range of any must like we want to have biodiversity in an environment so that we can protect our ecosystem. So if one is depending on another, and if one is going to extinct, it means another one will also become extinct because food of that animal is dependent to that species. When species become extinct in an area and there's no longer such a great variety of species. The relation between animal, plants, people, and their environment in a particular area or the study of this. Let's see if you have used this word or not. I think we have used previously. We can finish this. So ecology, like the relation between life, animal, plant, animal, all these things. So habitat, like as we have discussed, it's a natural home or environment for any animal, plant, or organism. To inhabit and to live in a certain place, nature surroundings like so the habitat in which a species would naturally live. So this is called natural surroundings. To adopt, like we are going to adopt means we are going to respond to any new conditions. To evolve, this is very easy. Evolution, the process by which living things slowly change and develop over a long period of time. Thrive, it is easy. Nocturnal, active. Certain animals are become active at night, so we call them nocturnal. Migrate, extinction, dying out to become increasingly less common, almost to the point of extinction. So we have discussed three sets, some are remaining. So we have the time for the next class. We can see how many are left. We can check them later on. Let's see how many. This topic is natural world, resources, and environment. Okay, there are total 6 sets here. So we have just reviewed the few sets. Okay, we can see remaining them in another class. We have the next class and we will end this session here and we will continue tomorrow.